Yeah, I think you said, Munch, it feels good in here because the heat wave is over.
Mm-hmm.
Straight politicking on all you suckers. And I'm here with SPI, the most easty, and Munchie B, the mayor. And how y'all brothers doing, man?
Oh, shit. I'm great. Just knocked out an interview with Rennie Loc, and with all the peace going on, she called for all peace amongst YouTubers and content creators.
Oh, I support all of that as long as it's reciprocated, you know?
Mm-hmm. As long as you morally intact and you ain't went too far to disrespect with me, I'm good.
But I got this one YouTuber that says I'm gonna go to jail. I'm gonna post this message on the community board. This one YouTuber says that I'm going to jail, so I don't know if we ever gonna find complete peace on these YouTube streets.
Oh, he said you going to jail.
Oh yeah, I'm going to jail.
Mm.
I'm going to jail some kind of way, some way, somehow.
How'd doubt that?
You know, I got no criminal record. I've never been to prison. I got no felony convictions, but all of a sudden I'm going to jail. How's that gonna happen, man?
With the help of him.
How am I going to jail, bro?
He must know some secret tricks.
Shoot, the last time I even probably had cuffs on me, I was a teenager. Might have been 19, 20 years old But I don't know about these YouTube platforms, man. I'm ready to ban a couple of y'all.
I just said, as long as you morally intact and then you ain't go too far to disrespect. Evidently, that man, he deemed somebody going to jail. He not morally there in my standards.
Yeah, well, my kids didn't appreciate that statement, bruh. So,
Yo, kids didn't appreciate it.
nah.
And what do I say? Snitches, they separate. They separate the man from the family.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no doubt. So, I didn't get a chance to do any fact checks, man, but, I'll get to it. Not next week, because this is our last episode of Straight Politicking until the following week after next.
Sound like you said fat checks.
Next week, just reminding y'all, we're going to skip a week. So if you're looking out, I know there's a lot of y'all that look out for the episodes, that listen to it at work. It was really cool to read this one comment where the dude said, when I'm at work, I don't really watch Straight Politicking, but I listen to it because I'm doing my forklift. So I appreciate the audios that are uploaded. So, people are waiting on these episodes to drop, but unfortunately we're going to skip next week because I got to go out of town, but we'll resume on the following week.
Hey, I appreciate that comment also, and shit, we ain't got to wait for no flowers. We could pick our own flowers then, because the Straight Politicking got a lot of substance. We cover a lot of ground, you know what I'm saying? We ain't cloud chasing or trying to piggyback off nobody their emotion. And I could see why he said that.
Yeah, for sure. And our first topic, man, everyone is talking about it, and everyone knew this day was coming. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. P.Diddy.
A.K.A. Prison Daddy.
Sean Combs. Sean John.
Brother Love.
Brother Love. Damn. Hey, this dude does got about 6 or 7 names, huh? But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you see it, the long arm of the law eventually came down hard and arrested him, late last night or yesterday evening?
Sometime yesterday.
I woke up to it because I took a nap. I took a nap around 4 or 5 or somewhere, 5 or 6. When I woke up later on, I saw it. So I was like, wow, I fell asleep when this dude just got arrested. So he's currently in custody right now.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Reggie was the first person I saw reporting it.
Oh, okay. Reggie called this I don't know, a while back.
I saw him claim to have predicted September.
And I believe today marks the first day that the head of Death Row and the head of Bad Boy are in jail at the same time on the same day.
That's deep.
Yeah, because we would have never thought this in the 90s. The two biggest hip-hop labels that are producing the biggest music, the biggest artists, selling the most records. You got to admit, even though we West Coast and we Death Row, but Bad Boy was doing their thing. They had Mace, they had Biggie, they had
Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. And now both the CEOs of the two biggest record companies in the 1990s are in jail.
That's ironic as can be.
Only in hip hop, right?
I mean, thus far, you're right.
Or the film industry.
Yeah. But what y'all think? The state of California couldn't charge Diddy when that Cassie video came out because the statute of limitations expired. But I was reading over some of the Fed documents, and they are including that Cassie video as part of the indictment.
And the way they break it down into technicalities, he in trouble.
He's in trouble for something. It's just a matter of how far they go. But, you know, because I work in this legal area, you know what our motto is, right?
Innocent until.
Innocent until proven guilty. So I got to.
I think that's outdated.
That's cap.
You think so?
Definitely.
Yeah, but if you're the defense team, that's the philosophy from today all the way until trial.
But if you go with that presumption, I think you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. I think you mentally need to work from guilty until proven innocent. A lot of times.
So you're thinking that he should negotiate some sort of deal?
I mean, I don't know the details enough to make that assessment. However, the way it looked like it's piled up on, you know, the average person in the game might be already considering a deal. If they was in the game, like, you know, he probably thought he was going to be able to avoid all this and not really being in the game. So he might not be dealing with that level of reality yet.
I think having that mindset, guilty until proven innocent, but the other way around, I think that just not just expecting the worst and hoping for the best. That's all that is. Because you know they don't serve as a fair. You serving as raw deals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know everyone says the feds have this incredible high conviction rate, and it's very difficult to fight them. They have unlimited resources, and they come at you with multiple prosecutors. But let me remind everyone in the hip hop community, Irv Gotti and his brother were in the same position about a decade ago.
But they didn't really.
Where everyone thought, no, if you read the headlines, they was washed up. They're going to prison. They're connected to Supreme. Supreme's connected to all this other stuff. Oh, they're going down. They took it to trial. They took it to the box, and they came back not guilty. And the government spent I don't know how many millions of dollars to prosecute them.
You said this was when?
A decade ago or so.
I think it was quite a bit more than a decade.
Early 2000s?
Almost 20 years, bro.
Almost 20 years?
If not 20.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely was before 2014.
Well, we ain't got all the facts in front of us though, but I think they didn't really want them though. They just wanted to separate them from what's the boy name? What's the boy name from New York?
Supreme McGriff?
They wanted to separate them and cut off any means of finances that they could have aided them with. You know what I'm saying? That's all they want. They want to cripple him.
You were absolutely right, Spider. This was 2005, so this was 19 years ago. But what is your point in bringing that up? This happened a long time ago.
It's kind of like when somebody they on an indictment, but they low on an indictment, so they don't get banged like you think they would. Mm-hmm. I was just saying it to say like they whole motive of even coming at them was like really to cripple that dude and cut off his fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean we're saying all that in hindsight, but when it was happening in live in real time, everyone thought they was washed up.
Right.
I brought the time frame because if it happens once in 20 years, I mean.
Oh yeah, it's hard to take them to trial
Like,
and win.
Who would even reference that? Because I think the ST charge, according to the press conference, is the most serious charge that they trying to go after. And back then, I don't think STs was even a thing, but it's a big thing now.
Yeah, it wasn't a big thing back then, and it's kind of creeped into the criminal justice system like in a big way in the last decade.
Indeed.
But you said people beating the feds.
Yeah.
Don't many people do it.
Not too many people go to trial.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think too many people even go that they don't go the distance though. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they do have a lot of trials, but they mostly end in guilty verdicts. I worked on a few I've had very little success fighting the feds, but we've had a little bit. In fact, one of the cases I'm currently on right now, I think it's going to get dismissed. Not 100% certain, but I'm trying to remember this other Fed case where a guy won. But yeah, it's rare, but it could happen. And you know, the way as arrogant as Diddy is, don't you think he's probably saying, if I put up enough lawyers, I put up enough money, I can fight each and every one of these charges?
You mean
Go ahead.
he may be delusional enough to believe that, yeah. But you see what happened to R. Kelly.
Yeah.
R. Kelly didn't have half as much as seemed like other elements that Diddy got.
I don't believe it's. I don't think it's gonna be arrogance. I think it's just he can't see himself doing the time. So a straight person, we be like, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna be back. As long as I'm, you know what I'm saying, got a date. Him, he just can't see himself doing that time. I believe that'd be his, like, you know what I'm saying.
Well, you definitely got to have money, because I heard Irv Gotti in an interview after the trial was all over basically saying that it took all of their money to fight the government, you know?
But Diddy is, I find ironic being incarcerated with all these charges of all these freaky behavior, and all these men has been trapped away from that might have interests like that. It's gonna be hard for him to just walk around regular.
Hey, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it anyway, even though I might get bashed. But I done heard from a couple sources and people that done been in and out the feds that the DC card got a culture at doing what they do with men.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Who was the guy out there?
Wayne Perry.
No. Rayful Edmonds.
Melvin Butler boy.
He was one of the top drug dealers in D.C., and apparently he liked to, I don't know, dabble around with the same sex.
They say the DC dudes is gangsters, they steppers, they got a strong card, but then that's what they F with. They do that out, that, you know what I'm saying, that type of behavior.
Yeah. All right, I got this clip on the Diddy arrest indictment. Run that clip.
Just happened this morning. Let's go ahead and put this up there on the screen. We wanted to make sure we gave people some of the details because it's a story I know many are interested in. Sean P.Diddy Combs has been arrested in Manhattan after a grand jury indictment. So it was literally just happened late last night. Sean P.Diddy Combs was taken into custody by the U.S. Southern District of New York and by the U.S. Marshals Service at about 8:30 p.m. at the hotel where he was staying, the Park Hyatt on 57th Street. The indictment and the charges against him remain sealed by the federal government, but we do know that this was an investigation that was led by the Homeland Security Department, specifically HSI, which often investigates sex trafficking cases. Quote, the March raids that we all brought everybody live coverage of at the time demonstrated that they were converging on his mansion in Los Angeles. He was then later, there was a lot of speculation as to exactly where he was and whether he was fleeing. They could be seen carrying out electronics. And all of this is in the context of a lot of the lawsuits and videos that have come out about Combs since, I guess, the last couple of years, past relationships, violence, and many of the other stories that have been alleged against him. But obviously, it's a titanic development, not only in the case against him, but kind of looking at the entire music industry, something that's been trailing him for almost 30 years. And very, very interested to see what is in that unsealed, or in that currently sealed indictment against him. Southern District of New York, again, a very...
And what I gather from that news clip, if he got arrested at a hotel, that just means they're monitoring him. Mm-hmm. They following him. They're watching everywhere he goes. So I know we talked off camera. He could have went out of the country, out of the state. But if they're watching every move, that's going to be difficult for him to do.
You think they would have caught a flight right along with him, huh?
They probably would have stopped the flight from taking off, if he was taking off from a private airport, using a private plane on a regular airport. They would have communicated with the tower and said, "Oh, stop that plane. Bro's not allowed to go anywhere." So, damn, you got taken into custody while you was at a hotel. Ain't that bizarre? And since that news clip that we just heard, that was last night, the indictment has been unsealed, and you made some reference to it earlier, Spider. Some freak off shit?
Well, yeah, I saw a press conference, and a part of the information that was released was that they located over 1,000 bottles of lube or oil or something like that.
Baby oil.
That just
Hey, how the hell can a lubricant be evidence?
Baby oil is not a lubricant though. It is just funny that baby oil is shiny. You feel me?
No, but it's definitely a lubricant.
Well, anything is a lubricant, I
Yeah,
guess, if it's like lotion or
But
something.
what I'm saying, yeah, lotion, baby oil. But how is lotion or baby oil, whatever? How is that evidence?
it's probably based on testimony of some of the alleged victims.
Yeah, that we don't know yet. Yeah, they must have characterized the assault as including heavy lubrication.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's got to be in the indictment somewhere.
they tried to insinuate they got multiple AR-15s with the serial numbers scratched off, and they tried to insinuate that they grabbed the guns and they were glad to find them because a lot of the testimony insinuates they were afraid to tell him no because of the presence of weapons. They shaping this like cold, bro.
Hey, you know how the DA would like to paint a picture and do this little word fuck shit. Hey, I don't like referring to baby oil as lubricant because lubricant just give you a sexual ring.
It depends on the context. Like my son was just lubing up some of his bike parts.
If you got 1,000 bottles in a room like 50 Shades of Grey,
It depends on how
Was
you
it
talk.
1,000? Because I didn't want to say the number earlier and exaggerate. Was it 1,000?
that's the reported number.
When you go take your car to get an oil change, sometimes they lube.
Call it lube.
Yeah, they lube. They lube.
Jiffy Lube.
Jiffy Lube, there you go. Yeah, lube. It depends the context. In mechanic talk, lubricants is everything. You need lubes in the pistons. You need lubes in the bar bearings. You need
Baby
lube.
oil is not an ideal lube, but it's a lube.
I throw baby oil on my clipper blade sometimes just to get the blades going good.
But I know what he's saying. It's that.
Right. So
slippery that ain't really.
So if your wife came in after getting out the shower, she say, "Alex, you have any lube?" What you thinking she talking about? You thinking she on some? Dang, baby, we just ate dinner. Wait a little later.
Hey, I bet you there's some white folks that say it just the way you say it. You got any lube?
It's black folks that say it like that now.
Yeah.
It used to be a white term, but it's kind of like gotten more general.
I remember watching porns in the 80s when I was a kid, and the word lube would be used. Doing massages, lube my body.
But look what you said.
Yeah, it was a new subject, man.
I'm very uncomfortable if my daughter like, "Dad, you see the lube?"
That's why it's used in that context, because I believe it was not just in a storage thing in the back, like perhaps for resale. I think it was reported and utilized, and that's why they describing it the way they are. The defense is gonna have a doozy of a time explaining thousands of bottles of oil.
That's crazy, man. So yeah, the indictment was sealed, and it's the United States of America versus Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P.Diddy, aka Diddy, aka P.D, and aka Love.
How long do you
Brother
think he's
Love.
gonna remain being the only defendant?
Oh man,
Probably like a week.
who knows? I was just saying to myself about a week or two ago, I was like, are they ever going to arrest Diddy? Was that just for show when they went to all these houses? I mean, how you go to all these houses and then not charge the dude?
What month was that when they did all that?
It's been at least 6 months. So the gap between the raids and the arrests was pretty lengthy. If I'm Diddy, I'm probably thinking, they ain't got nothing on me. Why would they wait so long?
He can't think that. No, he was nervous.
Oh, yeah, because part of the allegations now are intimidations of the witnesses since they did those raids. So he's been allegedly in communication trying to press people to cooperate on his behalf, and even attempted to pay is what they saying.
Now, they unsealed the indictment the following day after the arrest, and I'm going to put a link to this 14-page indictment, but I'll just read a couple lines from it. It says here that Sean Combs, the defendant, operated his business headquartered at various times in Manhattan, L.A., and a variety of U.S.-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, Combs Global, and then at times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs engaged in a persistent, pervasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. This abuse at times was verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. At times, Combs and others acting at his direction, the unnamed others,
Yep.
at times, Combs and others acting at his direction made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers to fly to Combs' location. And I'll post the rest of this in the show notes, but this is a 14-page indictment. And those others that assisted Diddy, that got the girls, that flew them around, that put him here and put him there and got the rooms, they may eventually get charged too.
You think there's anything to do with Kevin Lyles stepping down?
I don't know, but maybe Kevin Lyles realized, this is the end of my career. I'm too heavily tied into this guy. I was defending him at one. No, I think he was defending and then critical. He probably said it's time for me to just tap out. And he had a long career. What's the, you know what I'm saying? And look, who's in Bali right now? Russell Simmons. Bro has had an illustrious career in hip hop.
Got no one to hold him, no one to fold him.
And he probably decided it's time for me to tap out. I don't want to get caught up in none of this stuff. I made a lot of money. My little brother made a lot of money. Who was run from DMC. And you got to know when to step down and walk away, right?
I think Russell Simmons is smart. He got out of Dodge, and he was smart. So I don't know if Puffy wasn't able to get out of Dodge, or he just didn't want to run. I don't know.
What was the phrase you said, Spider, about knowing when to?
Knowing to hold him and knowing to fold him.
That's right. That's that song, man. What was that song? Kenny Rogers?
I believe so, but it's also a term just with poker, I believe.
Yeah. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold. And there should be quite a few people that's tapping out right now that was hitching their wagon to Diddy all these years. Who were some of Diddy's biggest defenders?
I just think the boy.
Stevie J.
Stevie
J.
And the boy from Texas, not Young Thug, but
Slim Thug.
Okay.
He spoke in his defense too.
Well, I feel like we should defend. Let me just say this. I know what we saw in the video was unexcusable, but at the same time, without a conviction, without this case going through the whole justice system, I wouldn't be against anybody standing by Diddy. I think right now people are going to be avoiding him like he's radioactivity. They're going to ignore him. They're going to not take his call anymore. And we do that to each other too many times.
But where do you draw that line? Because
conviction.
Wow, so
once he's convicted.
In my life, I'm not going to leave it up to the system for me to decide if I believe certain things about an individual, because people can beat cases. We know money influence courts and all that.
Yeah.
So if we're going to let that be the bottom line, that kind of throws off our moral compass.
Yeah, you're right, because Bill Cosby was convicted, and it turned out he was unjustly convicted. And if you stood by Bill Cosby all the way to the end,
I did too.
I was going to say, kudos to you if you stood by Bill Cosby all along.
I did.
So yeah, you have a point where maybe the conviction ain't enough to not stand by somebody,
or lack of evidence to satisfy the court. But you may have be 100% convinced this dude in the neighborhood doing something to young girls. We know for a fact.
Yeah.
But he go to court and beat it. So is we gonna let him? Oh, he cool, or is we gonna try to look at him different at least, or do something?
Well, if there wasn't enough evidence to convict him, but we all knew he was doing it, then they didn't do their job.
Of course, but yeah, of course.
So somebody probably didn't want to come forward. They didn't get enough evidence. But I'm saying, even though it's not looking good for Diddy, I'm not hating on those who are still standing by him, like maybe Stevie J and bro from Texas. We got to stand by each other, because if I'm in a situation, I want the whole community rallying behind me.
I'm gonna double back and see exactly what Slim Thug said, but I know Lil Boosie said something I agree with. He was basically said, "Shit, where everybody that was proposing the toast and You know what I'm saying? Partying with him, having fun, the good times and all that. Now, is everything going against him? Everybody just away from him like he got cooties and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that video clip of him in the suit with all the other hip hop dudes, Jay-Z, they got champagne, and Diddy is saying the toast. He said something like, "Hey, we all billionaires here." Mm-hmm. It was a group of what, 5, 6, 7 brothers. Mm-hmm. I hope those brothers still stick by Diddy through the thick of this.
Oh,
I remember Jay-Z was standing in that group. I forget who else was in that group.
It's 2020, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaires lunch. Yeah. You understand? Right. And we here together, and we're going to keep staying together. We getting tighter. That's right. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else to us. Black excellence. Right here.
Yes. I would like to know who else in the picture. Jay-Z ain't sticking by nothing.
How many of his constituents stood next to Epstein that made a public stance? I don't think that's the nature of these type of situations, bro.
You don't think so?
Not at all. I think especially if we was complicit and they start blowing the whistle, I think everybody, even you don't call we could be in the game. You get to the feds, you don't call my house, you don't call me, you don't reach out, we don't communicate or nothing.
You taking an extreme example, though, because of the stuff that Epstein was accused of.
But I'm just saying, like, if me and you get money together and you get gaffled, don't call my phone. I don't know you no more. If you call me from the feds to even check on me, you telling. Yeah. That's how they look at it.
Okay, but what about someone like Trump? He got indicted on 3 different cases, and he's got all the support in the world by his supporters. You know, that's what I call some loyalty. They might even put him back in office to become the president, and this guy's facing 3 indictments.
I don't want to go far off. I just feel our people was ignorant, bro. If it was for PPP, EDD, bro, they wouldn't even care about Trump.
I'm just saying the support.
That's what I'm saying. That's why he got crazy support.
Well, he got crazy support from white folks, though. I see these people on Twitter. They still think the election was stolen in 2020. They still think all kind of crazy that Giuliani had a case, even though Giuliani tapped out. He lied. You know, they lost $1 billion lawsuit from the voting machine company that Trump said stole the votes. They sued Fox News and won, I don't know, $800 million, almost $1 billion, because Fox News said the voting machines were fraudulent.
There's a lot of victimless crimes.
Yeah.
I just think a lot of his supporters is racist to begin with. That's why they sticking by him. They don't care what he do, wrong or wrong. For somebody to say, just grab her by the PUSSY in front of the world, and then everybody just like, oh.
Well, that was a hot mic. He didn't know he didn't know that he was being recorded.
He said it though.
He said it, yeah. But you said in front of the world. That was on a hot mic that he didn't know.
You just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Whatever you want. Grab them by the can do anything.
Or unintentionally in front of the world.
Yeah. So, hey, we all talk like that in the locker room, don't we? So I can't really. I'm surprised that a lot of women still continue to support him.
When you're the president, you held to a higher standard.
Yeah,
though.
But I think that the Jeffrey Epstein example, Spider, is an extreme one. I don't think anyone's going to support prostitution of underage girls. That's just a no-no, you know.
They're considering Cassie as a ST victim while she was a minor.
Oh, if that's the case,
it's definitely the case.
As a minor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What state?
The charges have been brought in New York.
What's the age, legal age out there in New York?
I think New York is 17 or 18. I'm not sure. But yeah, that you see, now you put it in a different light, because now if you're dealing with underage, we're dealing with minors and sex allegations, then it's hard for people to back you.
But the people that come down on them, people like how you say his name?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein, but they come down on him. But when he did get cracked, they didn't say nothing about it, like Oprah. But they come on come down on everybody else, our black brothers.
And do you think that Epstein was in his cell and just decided to tap out, or that was a inside job by the prison or the jail?
He decided that because he can't stand up on it. He used to be enriched,
Or he had too many secrets of Bill Clinton and others that were alleged to have been that visited his place.
My time being incarcerated, I find it very, very difficult, just from what I see, to hang yourself in a cell. You got to be very determined, and I don't know how well or capable or rich muff like that's not used to doing no type of physical work with his hands can pull that off.
I've heard of some people doing it, and I don't think they're important enough for the higher powers to try to get at them. But the person I got in mind, he hung himself on the streets, not in jail. My bad.
Yeah, you always hear these stories where they take sheets, tear them up, and kind of tie them around a pipe that's going along the ceiling.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of theatrical to me.
Yeah. But I don't know what happened to Epstein. Apparently, he knew a lot of secrets. A lot of powerful people visited him. We know that for a fact from plain logs. There's photos of with Epstein with a bunch of celebrities.
Yeah. You know something off the head?
I think Oprah got a photo with Epstein.
See?
Trump.
See?
Yeah.
Oprah, man.
So yeah, I don't know if Diddy's on that caliber of offender though. I wouldn't put him with an Epstein type of offender, but maybe they're gonna try to do that. Maybe the government's gonna say that. I didn't know that the Cassie thing was considered an underage thing.
I mean, anybody could find out real quick.
Yeah, anyone could read these 14 pages. It's probably in these 14 pages. I haven't had a chance to read the whole thing. I just read the first page, but yeah, this is some.
How old is Cassie right now?
Shit. Cassie is definitely a lot younger than him. Let me see. What's her last name?
I don't think you even got to put it.
Ventura.
Oh.
Cassie Ventura. She's 38 right now. She was born in 86. They hooked up in, I believe, 2007.
Well,
Okay, that would make her 21 though.
Wrong still if it's so.
So in order for her to be a minor, if she was born in 86, how old would she be? 17 years old.
38 right now.
So that would be 03. I don't know if Diddy goes back to 03 with Cassie, then he's in trouble.
I'm not sure if that's accurate then, but I believe that's what I heard, something to that effect. I could be mistaken.
Yeah, you gotta look at the source sometime. Who be reporting it?
Yeah, but if let's say that's not a part of it, I'm gonna support Diddy as a human being and as a black man until he's convicted. I know that most people are gonna be like, "There's no way he's winning this case. There's no way he's beating this case." But shoot, I'll never say never, man. I've seen some miraculous things happen with some miraculous defense attorneys, and money can help.
Hey,
Unfortunately,
he can't go broke fighting the case. He not one of those. His money long. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely think his money is longer than Irv Gotti's and them money when they had Murder Inc.
Far longer.
Yeah.
Far longer.
Yeah.
So,
but hey, Irv, they had some money though. They definitely had money. Murder Inc. with who was on that?
Lloyd, Ashanti, Ja Rule,
Yeah.
and that's the only words you could really name that's worth naming.
But I mean, hey, they won that case. They spent some millions, and they've complained about how much money they lost fighting that case. And I'm sure Diddy will spend 90% of his fortune to beat this case.
You say he willing to, or he gonna have to?
I don't know. I don't know what his total net worth is, but when you're up against it like this, you're willing to drop majority of your money for your freedom.
And whatever lawyer taking this case, know that. So he about to R-word that dude for all his bread.
Yeah, these lawyers are going to make a nice, pretty penny over the next. They're going to drag this case on for the next 2 or 3 years, and of course, they're going to be billing every month, and they're going to make a pretty penny. They're going to be able to put their kids through college off this, off of this defense.
Man, I mean, me having daughters, man, I don't condone it, none of this, but I just don't. I don't believe in the system, and I don't like the system. I don't. And then the fact that they making money off this is all, you know what I'm saying, a money ploy anyway. Like, the system about to get bread, putting them on a bunk. I don't know. I'm mixed with this shit.
Yeah, well, Diddy did some things to put him in this spot himself, so he's got to take some accountability and blame. I don't know if we can blame the whole system on it because the system is what it is, and I'd rather be in a U.S. court system than many other systems around the world. If I was getting charged with something, you don't get no preliminary hearings in Mexico. You don't get no arraignments in countries.
Hey, but these witnesses gonna be funny getting up there like the Rod Jones dude. That's the producer, and he all of a sudden came out and said all kind of crazy.
That's when
shit.
your defense attorneys do their homework on these witnesses and demolish them on the stand in front of the jury. That's the beautiful part. That's my favorite part of a trial is when a defense attorney cross-examines some weak witnesses that the state put in front.
But I don't think Cassie wanted this to even go this far because I don't think she want to get on the stand and relive anything or be in the public eye talking about this again. You know what I'm saying?
She's the center of this case.
Right, star witness.
Yeah, I think she's jumping for joy right now.
I don't think so.
What?
She got her payday, bro. I don't think she want to be on the stand like reliving that and talking about that again.
I think she wants to see her former abuser allegedly do time. And then without her assistance, it ain't gonna happen. Without her crying on that witness stand in front of a jury, it ain't gonna happen.
That's what I'm saying. I know she was this would go forward without her having to get up there.
Well, we'll see. I think she's all for it because her civil case is what really opened up this whole criminal case. And she provided information that only she would know to the feds. Who knew about these guns? She probably was like, I know where his guns are. I know where this is. I know where that is.
The baby oil.
I know where he keeps all the baby oil. I spent a decade with this guy. I know all his ins and outs. How does Homeland Security know all this, Munchie?
Collective, I believe.
He's been living this has been a secret life this whole time. Now, all of a sudden, in the last 12 months, they know everything. This isn't like a 10-year investigation. They just started this investigation last year. And now they know everything. So that means Cassie is, do we call Cassie a snitch? Nah.
Do we call her a snitch?
Spider's nodding no to those that are listening on all our podcast platforms, iHeart, Spotify, and all the other ones. He just basically said no. What'd you say, Munch?
No, I wouldn't call her a snitch on this.
But you know what? I don't think. I don't know what's a better word, but I think when non-street people tell, I think that's okay. It's when non-street people snitch, I think that we should accept that. There should be no criticism. So Cassie being a non-street person, a victim, when she tells, nobody should have anything to say negative about her.
When you say that, that's a wobbler. When you say when the non-street person shouldn't be like held to that same. If the non-street person is minding somebody else's business until, then that's a problem.
What about if the non-street person is a victim of the crime? You expect that person to tell.
Then that's different.
Yeah.
Like Cassie, she a non-street person, law-abiding citizen, and she was clearly victimized.
But I call it snitching in the positive sense.
We just ain't gonna use the word snitching when it come to her, cause snitching, it ain't nothing positive about the whole word. You know what I'm saying? And you give a bad ring.
Yeah.
She's a victim through and through.
Usually snitching has a negative connotation to it, but it's to me it's snitching still.
I wouldn't call it snitching with her though. I don't know. We gotta enter another word into the dictionary. No, I get entered every year. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so Spider, what is it when a victim provides all the information for an indictment? What do we call that?
It's not even our business. You know what I'm saying? We politic on people that's in the game.
Okay.
That's why we even had these conversations.
If the neighbor told, that's snitching.
If the neighbor told, it's snitching?
Mind your business.
Okay.
I'm not saying who directly involved. Like everybody's seeing in front of the world how he did her trying to get on the elevator.
But be more specific. When the neighbor tells on what?
Man, they selling dope next door.
Oh, that's the neighbor's business. If you selling dope on his block and he's a non-street person, he's a neighbor, he's telling the way Cassie's telling.
That's snitching.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
But man, Cassie was victimized, man. She She didn't ask to be treated like that.
Okay, but the neighbor can argue you victimizing me and my family by selling drugs next to my house because of the traffic you bringing in and out, because of the nefarious activity that's happening in and out, and you live right next to me.
Let's say if the activity ain't going on, but he's selling dope next door, and you just know of it and you tell. That's snitching.
Well, selling dope comes with unpredictable situations.
Everything come with unpredictable situations. Game banging, selling dope, having sex. So, like, no, for real.
All right, Spider, is a neighbor a rat if he tells the police that the guy next door is selling drugs out his house?
I think if you're a criminal committing crimes in front of people who not even part of your criminal situation, that makes you foolish.
Yeah, the neighbor shouldn't even know. Yeah.
That's my point.
But it's almost impossible to sell dope out of a house without neighbors across the street or next door figuring it out.
I think that's why people stopped selling dope out of houses for the most part quite some years ago.
Yeah.
You still have your little traffic, but I don't think that's the norm as much as it used to be.
In L.A.
Well, that's all I'm really familiar with.
But there's trap houses all over the country.
I can't really attest to that.
Yeah.
I've heard about it, but I don't know how much of a norm it is anymore.
Hey, what your dad say? You said you'll come in the house?
Hey,
Dad, the police beat the shit out of boy across the street.
Yeah.
I just seen, you didn't see nothing.
Yeah. My dad was hardcore with that. Hardcore. The police came to the door. Hey, we need to speak to your son. Nah, my son got nothing to say. That's how it was.
My daughters, y'all daughters, my mama, because my mama, she not gonna do 30 minutes in the cell like you. They not snitches, but I would love for my mother to mind her business if anything going on. You know what I mean? Like,
My mom ain't gonna say nothing.
mind your business, bro. That what they doing next door down the street don't concern us, and that's snitching. If my mama, if she, you know what I'm saying?
All right, man. PeeWee Longway. We're gonna move on to another topic. Puff Daddy got a long road ahead of him before we move on to PeeWee Longway. But I say never say never. Never say never.
And you do. You done told me that.
Yeah. Okay, PeeWee Longway. I'm only familiar with PeeWee Longway because of an interview he gave a few years ago, and I was just surprised and shocked that I never heard an accent like that before.
It was strong. It was thick.
It was thicker than other people from his city that I've heard talk before. It was just maybe he's from the countryside or.
I never heard him talk.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, he just got indicted, and I guess he was a rapper out of Georgia, and your homie actually knows him personally.
Yeah, Stan is popping his name throughout his media journey. When he talks about his influence, his experiences on that side of town, I hear dude's name come out of his mouth all the time.
I guess he was a big deal.
It seemed so. That's what I did gather, just being generally aware of him, that he was one of them guys.
Yeah, and I guess he was a rapper, but I'm not tapped in with his music.
Me either.
Okay, well, bro is 40 years old, born in 1984, and just got arrested in Operation Sweet Silence. Drug bust in Georgia seizes 55,000 pounds of marijuana. 55,000 pounds. Just imagine 1,000 pounds. I remember the homeboy had a one-bedroom apartment, and he kept, I don't know, I would say he probably had like 100 pounds of weed in the kitchen cabinets. 100 pounds,
That
you
used
know.
to look like a lot.
Yeah, it was all over the kitchen cabinet. 100 pounds of weed, 55,000 pounds of marijuana. In an operation, law enforcement called Operation Sweet Silence.
Was it in a warehouse? Was it in a truck, a diesel?
Let's see what it says here. Muskogee County Sheriff Greg Countryman announced a seizure of an enormous amount of drugs, along with several guns, cash seizures, and the arrest of 101 people involved in the sprawling criminal operation centered around two gangs in Columbus, Ohio. The Crips, I hate when they just say the Crips, the Crips and the Zohanans, and involved several government agencies, both local and federal.
That's 100 people.
Hey, when you see 101 people being arrested, what's the first thing you think of?
Telling.
Somebody telling. Somebody telling. The only time I seen a whole bunch of people arrested like this was those white motorcycle dudes in Texas. 80 of them got arrested. Nobody said nothing, and all of them got released. All right. The 2-year investigation ended with a lot of big numbers. All told, the operation seized 155 guns, 496 pounds of meth, 7 kilos of fentanyl, and 57 kilos of cocaine. They found marijuana too. They're saying that the street value of the weed is over $250 million, and the street value of the other drug seized was close to $300 million. And if you PeeWee Longway, I guess rap wasn't making enough money for you. Allegedly, of course.
Hey, it said before that he he hit the lottery twice on a high amount.
In real life?
Yeah,
Talking about literally?
Yeah, he got yeah.
Oh, and you think he used that money and flipped it?
I can't say. I was just throwing it out there that he hit the lotto twice before in his life.
Okay. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick.
About the lotto?
Yeah. Because they do have that lottery in Georgia. But this is a serious Georgia RICO case that looks like...
How I go from Georgia to 2 gangs in Ohio?
Did I say Ohio?
At one point, I think you did.
I'm sorry. It says Columbus, and in my mind,
Okay.
I said Ohio. It's Columbus, Georgia.
Okay.
But Ohio, one of Ohio's big cities is Columbus.
Okay.
My
Say
bad.
less.
2 gangs in Columbus, Georgia. The Crips and the Zohannans. Never heard of the Zohannans.
Must be some type of derivative of the old nation or something.
Oh, could be, huh? Could be.
I just my guess.
The Zoes down from Florida.
Right.
PeeWee pushed Atlanta 60s.
Yeah. So I got a clip here I want to play of this arrest. Play this clip.
Top story, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of drugs and guns, Glock switches and other items taken off the streets thanks to a special detail that culminated Thursday in Muskogee County.
Law enforcement call it Operation Sweet Silence, which was a 2.5 years in the making, aimed at taking down gang members and cutting crime. News 809's Catrice Nolan joins us live in our newsroom tonight with more on this takedown.
Catrice, we understand multiple local, state, and federal agencies involved in this operation.
That's right. Several agencies involved, and this is the number. Over $279 million in street value of what they seized. And the FBI, the GBI, the DEA, and others all worked together for Operation Sweet Silence. Now, the sheriff says although they took more than 2.5 years moving in silence, the takedown was seen and heard across the Chattahoochee Valley. These are the mugshot and faces of some of the people just arrested in the Columbus area through what they are calling Operation Sweet Silence. The multi-agency takedown has been planned for more than 2 years. Muskogee County Sheriff says it took overtime hours to put that many people behind bars.
The Muskogee County Sheriff's Office has worked in lockstep with the FBI and the DEA to go after some very dangerous gang members of the Zohannan gang, members of the Crips.
District Attorney Don Kelly telling us that gang activity has led to high homicide rates in Muskogee County.
We've seen the homicide rate more than double because of gangs, and we are going to continue to target gangs.
19 of the suspects facing federal charges, 12 of those cases being prosecuted locally. The drugs and other illegal weapons seized in this operations have a street value of $279 million, something the U.S. Attorney's Office says was a large amount for this area.
This was a major operation, one of the largest, I think, in Columbus history, and it was, the point is to really target folks who are doing the most damage in the community.
Spilling the drugs and crime into other areas like Harris and Russell.
You know what's called about this?
What's that?
He about to take he about to have to take the hit for a whole lot of people. Is it because I don't think he that big of a drug dealer and shit, but he the face. You know what I'm saying? He the famous person. So
yeah, he might just be a low level participant in this.
Nowhere near that high. So. Yeah, that's crazy.
Because when they showed the mugshots of some of the guys arrested, they didn't show Pee-wee's face. They're not treating Pee-wee like he's the ringleader.
He
like
can't be. Not with that. Not with the drugs value in that high. Can't be.
But he's definitely in this
indictment.
Yeah, he's in the arrest. And the crazy part is, if you listen, they said 19 of these guys are going to be charged federally, and they're going to let the other ones go to Georgia, and they're going to charge them state because they want, when they have these multi-agencies coming together, they're not going to come together unless you're going to give us some of these defendants. We want some of them too. We're not going to help y'all investigate this crime in Georgia, but we're not going to get any so that we can put in our prisons. So I guess the agreement was you get 20% of the defendants, right? 19 of the 101 are going to go to the feds, and the other 82 will be prosecuted by the state.
That's my prediction, right? I believe somebody off that YSL case tipped them off about this. Somebody that got cut a break over there regarding the YSL case turned them on to this.
Well, listen to this. Listen to this last paragraph, Munch. Complex reported that the rapper PeeWee Longway was among the 101 individuals arrested, though his name does not appear in the press release of the federal indictments. Another small-time Georgia rapper going by the name YSN Trap was included in that list of 19 people facing federal charges, though. Okay, I thought the YSN was actually YSL, but YSN is something different.
Right.
So this is reporting that PeeWee's name is not in the indictment, so I'm a little confused.
No, they said in the press release.
Yes, his name's not in the press release.
Yeah, but they didn't say not in the
Oh,
indictment.
okay, yeah. But yeah, they're reporting that he's arrested.
Based on that his name ain't in the initial indictment, that's what they just said initially? Or just in the press release?
Yeah, it was just a press release, but you would think that they would make sure that his name is included, being that he's probably one of the bigger, well-known names out of these 101 guys.
Well, maybe they just trying to shake him up, and they really ain't got nothing on him. Hopefully, it's like that. You feel me? Or they just trying to shake him up or something.
Well, we'll follow this case and bring some updates on it, but it appears that his name was not mentioned even in the news, in that news clip we just watched, and they didn't even show a mugshot of PeeWee out of the handful of mugshots that they showed.
You know why? Because you get sued when you flash people face on the nose and then you ain't got nothing.
And according to this other article, it says here, it's unclear what role Longway may have played in the operation, though multiple outlets have reported he was indeed arrested during the raid. He is known for collaborating with other rappers, Young Thug, Rich Homie Quan, Migos, and many others. So it's a little unclear what his role is allegedly in this.
Hearing that, it seemed like that they want to build something on him, but they ain't really got nothing. But that's not fair, like, to not really have what they need. I don't know, man.
Well, it seems like another rapper is getting charged in one of these crazy cases, if it is true. And it just doesn't end. It just doesn't end.
Yeah, hopefully not.
The end of this article says PeeWee Longway's team has not yet spoken about his potential charges. It's also unclear if he has been released.
See, you know how everything seems so bad in the beginning?
Yeah.
And then after a while, it's like, you know what I'm saying? He might be all right, man. Hopefully he is. I'm going to throw a prayer his way.
It kind of reminded me of the Beezy situation. He was getting, all these charges came down on him, and pretty much most of it all got reduced.
Right. Things, it's greater later.
Have you spoke to Beezy last few days? Any update on him?
Nah, I ain't spoken to him since the last time.
Okay. All right. Since you mentioned YSL, Munch, I wanted to talk about seeing this guy, Woody, who's been testifying in the Young Thug case for the last, I don't know, several weeks. He's been on the stand. Is he still on the stand, or did he finally finish?
I don't know.
Well, he's been making his rounds, doing interviews just about on all the big platforms. And in the process, he's charging a nice amount of money. And I just find it interesting that this guy has been able to monetize him telling on a case into this internet stardom.
That's weak, ain't it?
I think so.
That's weak. I agree.
But obviously a lot of people want to see him, want to watch him, are interested in his story, and are willing to pay to put him on the platform, Spider.
I think we're expecting too much out of the internet and these platforms. One of the biggest movies known to our culture, Nino Brown, he went down telling if you look at the history of a lot of the gangsters that make it to the movies, they go out telling. And I think this is just kind of like the reaction of society to a gangster story that ends up telling. And it's just more closer to us because we so much involved in talking about this stuff. It's on the internet. It's more involved in hip hop. So we don't like it. We're disappointed. But I think that's society general reaction to these type of guys.
I know. I kind of tripped out when I saw Sammy the Bull on YouTube. I was like, wow.
Yes. This story's all. Go ahead.
Was New Jack City based on a true story?
The factual part wasn't. It was the part that Nino Brown was like a hero amongst us for years, even though he went out like that. John Gotti. People use his name, versions of his name as MCs, and he went out bad.
No, John Gotti.
John Gotti
He didn't?
No,
Okay, my bad.
Sammy the Bull told on John Gotti.
Who was the one died of the syphilis?
Al Capone.
Al Capone, my bad.
But he didn't go out bad either. Nah, they got him on tax evasion.
Hey,
Right.
man.
But definitely Sammy the Bull told on John Gotti. If you watch the movie Goodfellas,
I seen Goodfellas.
Henry Hill ended up telling on that whole faction of I think they were the Genovese family. Henry Hill told on everybody there.
Didn't Frank Lucas tell too?
Frank Lucas.
That's if you it's to depend on who you ask, because he did his thing on the police. You know, at the end of the movie, he had the thing up and just telling how everything was. You know what I'm saying?
One of the more disappointing guys on the East Coast, a brother that told was
I want to see if you said the name I'm thinking.
damn, I just had it.
Alpo.
No, not. This is more old school, because when you said Frank Lucas, Spider, it made me think of
I wanted to see if you say what I'm thinking.
Oh my gosh, what is bro's name now? Just forgetting. He told in a big way. He used to be on the cover of the New York magazine.
Not part of the Supreme team.
No, before Supreme Team. We talking about the 70s.
The Cuban getting Junior play him in the movie American Gangster.
I'm not sure. It'll come to me. My bad. It'll come to me.
This dude, back in Frank Lucas days, he was one of the dudes that got away. It wasn't in jail for that, but they ended up telling because he.
Nicky Barnes, my bad.
Is that who somebody boned his broad and he ended up telling?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Guy Fisher hooked up with Nicky Barnes' girl when Nicky Barnes was in jail. And he said that was one of the reasons why he told, because he saw that his own folks would do that to him.
6ix9ine said that similar.
Yeah, he did say that. That's kind of like an excuse, huh?
Of course.
You got to assume that once you locked up, your girl is going to move on, right?
Of course.
You can't.
But you know, in the mafia, that was supposed to be like cardinal rule.
Yeah. They got that as a written rule. Like, you don't mess around with nobody's wife, nobody's girlfriend, no matter what.
But Nicky Barnes, I believe, I could be wrong, he was already sentenced. He in jail. You didn't have to tell. So he solely told, I believe he really a tender dicker. And then he's like, oh, F this. You feel me?
But Nicky Barnes was doing stuff that he wasn't supposed to be doing when he was free. Yeah. He gave interviews to the New York Times. He was on the cover of a magazine. He was kind of doing the stuff that John Gotti was doing. John Gotti was
a big ass show off.
Yeah, John Gotti was wearing, $3,000 suits, driving around in the Benz, doing interviews for Geraldo Rivera, taking questions like mafia questions, and he'd just be like, "Oh, I got no comment on that." Like, bro, you ain't supposed to be even entertaining that.
Okay, this will be a fact check for next week, because they're getting the comments and let us know. They said when Alpo came home, them DC dudes threw him a party after coming home after all them years when he told.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
It be that give us if that's short facts in the comments. So go ahead and log in. But come on, you celebrating the snitch coming home?
But Nicky Barnes died in 2012. I'm not sure if he was in jail or he was free, but there was an article. The New York Times Magazine, "Mr. Untouchable" was the title. You know what the police is saying when they're reading this? They're like, "Okay, you're next.
You taunting them.
You're next, bro." Same thing with John Gotti.
Teflon.
He was on the cover of one of these magazines and it said Teflon Don. The feds was like, "Nope, you next." So you gotta lay low. Like you ever heard of Meyer Lansky, the Jewish gangster? Dude lived to be like 90 years old, never went to jail. You never saw him anywhere, but he was behind Vegas, the casinos, Lucky Luciano, all the Italian mafia, and you never You never heard from the dude. Let me see how old Meyer Lansky. Meyer Lansky's my favorite gangster, man. Jewish dude. Was schooling all the Italians on how to do it.
So
Meyer Lansky died in 1983. He was born in 1902, so he was 81. 81 years old.
So it's safe to blame it on social media. If it wasn't on social media, nobody had the platforms to be.
Yeah, but even before social media, like what John Gotti and these guys are doing, newspapers.
I'm talking about
interviews.
Sammy the Bulls and what's his YSL Woodies and shit doing 20 verses.
Oh yeah.
They even paying for these interviews, getting paid off the interviews and shit. But all right, so who else interviewed YSL Woody other than fucking No Jumper?
I didn't watch any of them, but I did see. I probably looked at the first minute or two of No Jumper. I believe it was Adam and Remo. But then the other ones I didn't see. But yeah, there's at least, I'm going to say 3 or 4 interviews that have happened in the last week or two that have featured Woody. And I noticed in the first couple of minutes with Adam, he's bragging about all the money he's making doing interviews. How bizarre is that?
That's like
Okay, if how much you think he's charging? How much are people really paying this guy?
Between 15, 20.
15.
Depending on the platform where they could afford them. That's why I said who else other than not back on Fig. I apologize, back on Fig, my bad. Other than No Jumper.
You think No Jumper would pay 15 racks to interview Woody?
Between 10 and 15.
If that's true, man, I'm shocked. I'm surprised. I'm thinking more like 7, 8, 9 because that's what they gave the what's his name, Blockstar.
He more famous than Blockstar.
Yeah, he is more famous than Blockstar, but shoot,
more entertaining. You know how dull that interview with Blockstar and Adam was?
Yeah, it was boring, huh?
That was real boring and could have put somebody to sleep.
And Woody a talker.
He'll crack some jokes in there.
Yeah. Let me see how many views they got so far. Because he's a internet sensation now. Do you think he's got longevity in this internet space, or he's only going to get his 15 minutes minus 1 of fame?
What he gonna do next though? After people already heard his story, that depend on that.
Well, you're the first one that told me that he was on the dating thing with the Poppy Balloon.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess whatever options are available, man. Check this out: the full No Jumper interview of Little Woody from 2 days ago. It's at 720,000 views. That doesn't count the clips and all the other putting it on the clips channel and all the
view. Easy. It's definitely coming within the next week or so.
What is
1 million?
Oh, 1 million. Yeah. But if it gets 1 million, if he paid 10,000, he overpaid.
It depends.
Because 1 million's not going to bring you $10,000.
I don't think he pays to just get an exact profit on each time, every time.
That's smart actually, because you gotta know that it's not always about that. It's about landing that interview before others.
I think we made that point when we were discussing Vlad and Marlon Wayne.
Yeah, that's right. And Adam could say, I got one of the first interviews with the dude, regardless if he profits off of it. So let's say let's give me a ballpark figure, Spider, of what you think he paid.
Probably about 20 bands.
20 bands. Okay, if he paid 20 bands, for it to be profitable, it's gonna have to get around 4 million views. That'll break him even. 4 million. You're figuring $5,000 per million views.
You talking about on the full clip, but what about the clips he buzzed down?
That's correct. That doesn't count the other clips.
Totality. I was speaking clips and all.
Okay, clips and all. Yeah, it's hard to do that because I don't know how many clips he's gonna make and how many views.
You gonna bust that down?
Yeah. So he probably will surpass the if he paid 20. He can probably squeeze 4 million views out of this with the clips. Maybe.
I don't know if they had other business in Atlanta, but you got to also consider the travel costs and all that, if not.
Yeah, because he didn't do this in his studio. So, and he took Remo with him. Was that Remo?
I believe so,
yeah.
Yes.
He took Remo with him. So, yeah, the travel cost is probably several $1,000s
If you
on
gonna
top of
break
that.
it all the way down to that, yeah.
Yeah. So
Shit, what's called went too.
what's that much?
Break Baby went too.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was.
And you know, Adam Norimo does none of this.
What do you mean?
The technical side.
Oh,
so
so whoever's behind the camera, unless you get a crew of people from Georgia to do it for you.
Still part of your budget.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you definitely. I don't think he would have flew those people in. He probably just got them there locally and said, "Hey, I'm doing this interview. I need y'all to engineer this podcast."
Hey, I heard the dude, even though you debunked what he said about the Shitty G thing, but he said something about how like other people with different states look at the podcasters on podcasts from California, kind of like, you know what I'm saying, like we the standard or whatever. But man, man, I'll just say you can't even look at California like that no more, bro. Cause for Break Baby to even go take a picture with this dude, to be on or off camera intermingling with him after politicking the way you politic, it just, you know what I'm saying, it don't make no sense, bro. Like, that shit weak.
To take a picture with Woody?
Right. Especially after you make Young Thug a part of your storyline. You say Young Thug, you watch this come up, and you and Longway and pay for his studio time, all this little shit. So if Thug your boy like that, how could you even be taking the picture, flicking it up with somebody that's on the stand? You know what I'm saying?
I don't even know how to feel about that.
I do. It's some Buster shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? People got it.
There's a lot of dudes out here that have socialized with known people that have told.
Right.
And you know, it's kind of hard to judge each one.
Yeah, but see, during the case is still going on too. It ain't even like you wait till the case. It was a closed case and you took a picture with this nigga.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying?
that's a different situation because this case is still going on. But like you always bring up T.I. Spider, like if T.I. came to L.A. and he wanted to hang out with us, are we gonna tell him no, or are we gonna say, you know, you paying for dinner? You getting a rental car and you doing this? Yeah, let's roll. We'll show you around L.A.
What he tell him again?
I'm asking Spider if T.I. pulled up on us and wanted to hang out, and we gave him a budget. Do we fuck with T.I.?
No, sir.
No, sir. See, I might fuck with him just on the strength of, you know, you gonna pay us, you gonna take us to dinner, you get in the car and all that. All right, you know, I don't know how strict that is. And if I do an interview with T.I., we're going to talk about why he decided to tell was that in Columbus, Ohio? That was Ohio case.
Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
That's all I was confused about.
Nobody talks to him about Columbus, Ohio.
It may have been Cincinnati.
I'm not sure. It was definitely Ohio, though,
Ohio,
right?
yes.
Nobody talks to him about Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, free Hosea Thomas.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely bring that up. And if he tells me I don't want to talk about it, then I'll be like, well, then we can't talk. You know, we can't.
You probably didn't benefit from, or maybe you have benefit from actually viewing and listening to his whole 45-minute testimony. I saw it in real time.
I remember when you brought that up when you came as a guest on the Gangster Chronicles.
Oh, that's crazy.
Back in 2019.
And see, it happened.
And I Googled it the day you said it. I Googled it at that time, couldn't find it.
That 45 minutes is scrubbed off the
internet.
No,
it eventually popped up on Crown TV.
You can't find it now,
the
though.
reading part.
The reading part popped up on Crown.
I recall when you can watch him walk from the back of the courtroom, get sworn in, sit on the stand, go past Hosea Thomas. I saw it with my own eyes.
Hey, when you brought that up on Gangster Chronicles, and I went home, I said, I'm gonna find this because I believe that even though you can't find it, it's still on the internet somewhere. It's gotta be. So I'm searching. I'm using different web browsers. I don't even use Google sometimes. I'll use Yahoo. I'll use Bing. And I'm like, man, I don't know if Spider saw what he said he saw.
Yeah.
Because I would have found it.
I understand.
But then when Crown TV came out with it, then I was like, oh no, Spider was.
Oh, I saw it. I saw it so many times because just think what viral stuff is. This like 07 whenever it happened back then. Yeah. I just happened to be in the studio daily, on the internet daily, and everybody wasn't on it. So anybody came to the studio, I'd be like, you seen T.I. on the stand? They'd be like, hell no, push play. So I've watched it tons of times. I showed it to so many people.
So you showed it to people?
Yeah, so many people.
So when you couldn't find it anymore, and then you saw it on Crown TV, were you like, damn, finally somebody dug it up?
Yeah, but it's still not as impactful as seeing what I saw.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, when I saw it on Crown TV, that kind of vindicated what you had told me on Gangster Chronicles, because I'm searching high and low, and I'm of the school of thought that even though he may have gotten it taken down, it's still somewhere in the corner on the internet.
That used to be exactly how the internet worked.
Yeah.
But I think those with prestige and influence, I think they got access now to do a little better of a scrub.
Well, I was watching a commercial that said, is somebody slandering you on the internet? Are there bad things said about you on the internet? Call us up, 1-800-SLANDER, and we will make sure that we get everything about you off the internet. So now they got companies that will scrub the internet of all your negative information.
Yeah.
So,
and they're advertising that to regular people because you go apply for a job now, they look up your name online and all type of stuff pop up.
Yeah, that is funny. But hey, I did enjoy listening to that Crown TV.
Yeah, so I'm glad it kind of vindicated me though.
Yeah,
I seen what Spider seen, but I can't remember the details of the case or whatever.
You recall seeing T.I. testify?
All right.
Okay.
I remember he said everything. All he did was probably try to say, I can't say if the defendant is the one who did this, but
that's
this is
good.
what happened. Now, when you corroborate everything that this is the problem. When there are people that say, hey, I saw Hosea Thomas get into this car and drive that way. I don't know what he did when he left.
Yeah.
Then T.I. can pick up the story. Well, 2 minutes later, this car did all this.
I think T.I. identifies the van being white.
His own van.
Okay.
He was in 2 vans. So he talked about going from a white van after they sprayed once, and they were trying to get his buddy into the silver van, and they came back and sprayed again. But he talked about seeing a hand with the fire come out the window.
Yeah. So even though he never IDs Hosea, it's some damning circumstantial testimony
on behalf of the prosecution,
on behalf of the state against Hosea,
corroborating everything that took place that Hosea did. Even if I can't say who did it, what am I doing sitting up here describing everything that happened?
I'm surprised that we haven't heard from Hosea on that. Like nobody reached out to him.
I think I'll fuck around. I'll probably still get T.I. an interview.
But are you gonna? What if he says I don't want to talk about me testifying in the Hosea case?
If you don't want to talk about, he didn't spoke on it before though.
Yeah.
But you just give me a hypothetical though.
Yeah.
Because he be like, if I'm getting cases mixed up, he said something like, my dead friend told me to say it or some shit.
His mama.
Oh yeah.
His mama no, that was something else. His cousin said
Like
he talked to his cousin, and his cousin said, "Yeah, go ahead and whoopty wop wop." That's something else.
Did he say that was a dream that he had?
No, it wasn't a dream. He said before he was. But see, I will have to revisit it.
No, he did say in a dream.
Yeah, I think it was.
He said I talked to him. He came to me and told
Yeah.
me.
He did say some crazy weird.
But this case is so many. You got to look at the totality of things, bro. He tried not to cooperate in this Ohio case for 2 years. They held it up. They refused to go to trial because they were trying to motivate T.I. to cooperate. T.I. was doing what he considered the G thing. So allegedly, he got caught up purchasing a bunch of weapons in order to keep it G, trying to keep it G. When he got caught up, he ended up with a year and a day with all those weapons on federal parole. And guess what? All of a sudden, he was behooved to cooperate in the Ohio case against Hosea Thomas.
That's your theory with that. How he got the year and a day.
Well, before I give a theory, I'm just giving you the factual events that took place.
The timeline.
Yeah, the timeline.
No,
The timeline fits perfectly.
Yeah.
Is that your theory on how he got the year and a day?
Well, I can't confirm it. I just know exactly what happened. So it'd be foolish not to assume that may be what happened.
Yeah, if you did do some digging.
Yeah, when you know the feds don't give a year and a day. At that time, T.I. described it. I mean, the feds described it as an experimental sentence. And he also did the Crime Stoppers commercials.
Yeah.
When you add it all on, it smelled like dookie.
I mean, Gunna did the commercial too.
I'm not saying one justify the other.
I guess, and I think they had the same lawyer. So I'm like, what is that lawyer getting deals for them commercials or some shit?
I don't know, but those commercials definitely can aid the crime fighting and reporting.
Now, if Gunna has pulled up to L.A. since he established YSL as a gang in open court, and it seems like his relations have not changed. So
because it's levels to, I mean, snitching is snitching, but it's levels to snitching. He didn't get up there like YSL Woody right there. You know what I'm saying? He did that plea deal and said what he said, and then he got on, which I don't feel is right either.
he promised that he wasn't going to be testifying against anyone, but we'll see because trial still ain't over.
But it seemed like ain't nothing he said was damaging at this point. Although you messing up, that they trying to say that it's not a gang, it's a record label.
Well, yeah,
That's the number one charge in the RICO.
That's the damage, though, saying that YSL's a
Yeah,
gang.
but he not hopping up there like this weirdo.
Yeah, well, they could probably replay or reread to the jury what Gunna said. I'm not sure.
Bro, you could tell the police something at a barbecue at a family reunion and you ain't no good.
But a good lawyer, it's easy to debunk what he said if you're a good lawyer.
Yeah, but as somebody that understand the game,
especially if you got a consultant like Adam. Like Alex.
Before it get to the lawyers or the judge, and I'm aware of what you did, it don't matter what they gonna do. If you sent the kite, if you dropped a note in the mailbox at the police station anonymous, you ain't no good.
And then I heard he tried to send out a kite to his co-defendants and like about this plea deal, and nobody responded to the kite. He like, did y'all hear that or no?
No. Who did?
Gunna is supposed to shot a kite like, hey,
before he took it.
Right.
I ain't heard that.
Okay. But see, any good lawyer come on, man. Like this is a you know, these supposed to be Bloods, if members, Inglewood family members, and you know, Gunna, he claims to be a Roller 60 Crip, and then you know, like you just gotta like shoot that shit like that, being the defense. You know what I'm saying? And then he's a singer. How much gang shit was he around? Because he don't come up no more other than when he was in the car with the dude.
I'm not really interested in knowing his character as much as I'm interested in the fact that
that's not his character. I'm talking about the case. Like that guy.
I'm saying the only details I need to know about the case is that Young Thug was charged with YSL being a gang, and then his homie got up in court. And I know YSL is denying that it's a gang. Then I watch his homie go on record on camera declaring that it is a gang.
Hey, it's crazy. Hey, you know, tolerance on these two particular instances, but never mind. I don't want to bring that dude up again. No, never mind. Because I said I'm about to lay off that. Never mind. Because one of them you give a lot of leeway to, you gonna get some compassion to, but I don't even want to. You know what I'm saying? I said I'm gonna stop saying his name.
All right. Hopefully, Woody only got about 9 minutes of fame left, because I'm actually tired of seeing the dude pop up, and I'm actually kind of irritated that they're giving him this much attention, because he's done nothing to deserve all these accolades and attention, you know.
I just like to clarify, I've never given no kind of nothing to nobody that got on the stand and testified on the behalf of the prosecution.
No, I understand, but
that's what I'm seeing. T.I., I've seen Gunna in court admitting to a crime against his co-defendant intentionally on camera, on record.
Oh,
the young cat I seen get stumbled up trying to talk to him.
I wanted to avoid that shit because
I didn't say no names. I said the young cat. This between so me, I know let you know I know what you're talking about.
I know what you're saying. That was in an interrogation room. That wasn't in a courtroom. Yeah.
I think it's a bit different. I'm pretty cutthroat on the talkers, tellers on the line.
Yeah, I don't even want to touch on him no more.
All right, man. Let's move on to our last topic, man. Tyreek Hill, the NFL star, was taken into custody. Actually, did they release him right then and there, or no? They took him to jail. They did take him to jail. Yeah.
After doing all that, you gotta kind of take him in after that.
Yeah. His arrest was all on body cam video. And this is a good example of police body cam video not really working in the benefit of the police. It actually, imagine if they didn't have this on video, they'd be manipulating.
Whatever they say goes.
Yeah, whatever they put in the police report. But what I wanted to touch on was this article that I found on Fox News. It's called Ex-NFL Star Critical of Tareek Hill for Behavior During Police Detention. Cam Newton weighed in on the detention. And let me just briefly read what Cam Newton said about the detention. Cam Newton said that, bro, right there, comply. They're playing the video during a podcast that Cam Newton's on, and he's saying at this moment, bro, right there, comply. I'm just trying to keep you alive. He said after the body cam footage showed Hill's reluctance to roll his window down. I'm not talking to Tyreek Hill more than I'm talking to everybody else that's going to get pulled over on a day-to-day basis. Newton was astonished when Hill rolled the window back up. When you roll the window down and you roll the window back up, bro, don't do that. You can't do that, Newton said. It puts you in danger, and you have to put yourself in the officer's position. He don't know what the hell is in that damn car, Cam Newton concluded.
Man, shout out Tyreek Hill, man. That $1 million vehicle. I understand how perhaps he didn't feel like dealing with the exact energy that that particular officer was giving him. I don't think he did anything illegal, anything threatening, anything other than not kiss this dude ass and comply as quick as the officer desired him to. And I think the officer did nothing to de-escalate, everything to escalate, and that Tareek Hill was treated like a common criminal. I think he was assaulted, and I hope he moves forward with legal charges against that department and get his bread.
Definitely. And we were talking off camera of how many times we've seen videos of white motorists who are definitely pro-anti-establishment, refuse to roll down their windows or crack the window an inch, or as you said, you reminded me, they just put the ID up against the glass, and they'll fight and argue, debate it with the cop, and usually the motorist wins in that.
Correct. I've seen it go both ways, but I've seen it definitely go to the extent where Caucasian drivers get a lot of leeway with their attitude, disagreeing, arguing with the officers on simple traffic stops, especially if they're in vehicles that cost upwards of six figures.
And we've seen it where motorists will roll the window down an inch.
Yes,
slide that paperwork right through that inch and keep it there.
You know, Cam Newton, I believe from day one, I could be mistaken, this might be something you want to fact check, but him being compliant with the system in general overall, I believe when he first signed his deal to come to the NFL, I think he signed and agreed not to have no tattoos. I could be mistaken.
Like a morals clause?
Yes. I could be mistaken.
I can't think of a reason why he would sign for that unless it's like something with a sponsorship. Exactly.
I think that Carolina Panthers was looking to wanted him to uphold a certain image.
Plus, he was like the potential that people thought he had coming out of college, being so big, so athletic, so agile. They probably thought he was going to be the next big quarterback.
I think initially even dreadlocks were a no-no in his contract. I think that obviously changed throughout the years, but I could recall hearing things stipulated about that he was willing to agree to when he first signed that was abnormal.
Yeah, I think that might be a rumor.
Well,
because your career might not end with Carolina. You know what I'm saying? And nobody promised to stay nowhere. Like I could get some sponsorships doing something like that, like people you got endorsements with.
I recall hearing that when he first came out the draft. If you could check that, Alex, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll definitely look that up. But I also wanted to add to this. This other article that came from The Guardian says that the police officer who dragged Tareek Hill from his car had a problem record. So that's good to know that this guy has a history.
Are you surprised?
No, I'm not. Danny Torres, 27-year veteran who forcibly arrested Hill in Florida, was suspended for a total of 50 days, which is almost 2 months. Mm-hmm. So he has a previous suspension. And I think there's going to be some legal action going on. And you know what's crazy? I have a video of me getting pulled over by the LAPD that's on the StreetTV platform. I don't know if any of you guys ever tapped in with it, but I had my GoPro going, and I got pulled over, and the officer told me, "Can you roll the back windows down?" I said, "For what?" It's a traffic stop. Just give me my ticket or do what you're going to do. Why I got to roll it down? He said, "For my safety. You got 10. I said, "Really?" I said, "All right." I rolled it down. He looked in. I rolled them suckers back up. He said, "Oh, no, can you keep them windows down?" I said, "I thought you wanted to just look in and see for your safety. There's nobody in the back seat." And he was like, "No, keep them down." At that point, I felt like this was a power move. So I rolled them windows back up. And they ended up dragging me out the car, handcuffing me, and you see me on the sidewalk for about 15, 20 minutes for no reason.
So with that being your experience, Do you agree with Tyreek versus Cam or Cam versus Tyreek?
I agree with Tyreek all the way. This is a traffic stop. If they allege he sped or whatever he did, he didn't turn, use the blinker. Your job is to handle the traffic stop. They escalated into something else.
Definitely.
Maybe they were jealous that he had $1 million car.
Mm-hmm. I mean, his skin was just as dark as the car.
Yeah.
I don't think Cam was wrong. I just think it should have been a text. Why you let that? That's not a public. You know what I'm saying? Even though that could be a lesson that could be taught, like just comply, because we get shot for having our wallet in our hand.
Yeah. So you see, I want to take this opportunity to tell all young people. Tareek is a 30-year-old multi-million-dollar dude in $1 million car. He has earned whatever he wants to do in that car. But if you're a young man, you're 18, you're just figuring out the world, you get pulled over by the police, I advise you to do everything that they ask you to do. You haven't earned any status at that young age. You haven't established yourself as a person of knowledge or wealth, of means. You're just learning the world. When you get to Tareek status, or you get educated, you establish yourself as a professional, you have a career, then you start exercising your right. But as I tell my two sons, hey, comply with these police every time you can if they ever pull up on you, because they are itching to dome a teenage boy out here on these mean streets of Los Angeles.
And get away with it.
Yeah, and then figure out a reason why it's the kid's fault why you got shot up. But, hey, I got pulled over with my son about a year ago. It was at night, too. And I told my son, I said, put your hands up on that dashboard. It was dark. And then I put my hands on that steering wheel.
Right.
Damn cop said, I'm pulling you over because your license plate light doesn't work. Yeah, there's a little light on the plate that lights up your plate.
I never even known that to be a thing.
Oh, that's the new thing. That's the new thing right now. I got pulled over 3 times for the same thing.
What?
So then I told the officer, okay, I didn't know. I'll be sure to take care of it. And he says, where you going? I said, we're going home. Where you coming from? I'm like, damn, what's up with all these questions? They were just nosy. They wanted to know who we were. We get home. I look at the license plate light, and it worked.
Wow.
It wasn't even out. But yeah, that happened to me also in Culver City. Don't drive through Culver City at night if you ain't got your registration, your insurance, and you ain't white.
Culver City police is no joke.
Yeah, Culver City don't like no outsiders rolling through that town, especially at night. I got a U-turn busted on me by the police.
But could y'all agree that the message that Cam had was correct? But why you couldn't text? I know they got each other lines.
Yeah, I think it was a good message, but this tone right here, like, you don't go in on Tareek Hill like this.
After he got dragged and all this shit.
When you roll the window down and you roll the window back up, bro, don't do that. You can't do that. No, Tyreek Hill can do whatever he wants to do with that window.
I agree.
If he wants to roll it down a half inch, roll it down a half inch. I wish we had a word for when you put your ID and stuff against the window. But whatever that is, if he wants to do that, let him do that.
He should be able to do whatever he want to do. But that ain't how it is in America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He should be able to, though.
And in his example that Cam Newton is criticizing, because he followed it up with, it puts you in danger and you have to put yourself in the officer's position. Man, you pulling over a NFL star in $1 million car. There is no danger.
Exactly.
There is no danger.
I don't know about that second part. Put yourself in a police position. That's some bullshit.
Nah, there is no danger. So, shout out Cam Newton. I used to watch you. I thought you was a hell of a specimen on that field, but you just didn't reach the potential that everybody thought you was going to reach. Is he still in the league?
No.
He's out the league already, huh?
He claims he can still play, though.
All of them do. What's up, boy name? Terrell Owens. How old is he? Because he said he can still do it.
Nah, Terrell is definitely done. But I think that Cam Newton quit the game relatively young.
He should have DM'd him.
Yeah, I would have said, man, Tyreek Hill, do your thing. Cam Newton's 35 right now, and I don't know how long he's been out the league, but he's been out for a minute, and he just did not reach that potential. I heard he's 6'5". This dude was 6'5" and could run and can throw.
Yeah.
What was his what happened? Why didn't he pan out?
He only got the Super Bowl once, I believe. I don't know about personally what his record was like as far as winning or losing. I'm not that much of a football buff to just speak on it like that.
6'5", 245 pounds. And
how much did
his last season was 2021.
What's the boy name for that retired from the Steelers? Because he seemed to be big. Roethlisberger. How tall and big is he?
Oh, he's a giant.
Yeah, right. Because he's big.
But he ain't a runner though. He's definitely not a runner.
No, hell no. He's slow as fuck.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's wrap this up. What you guys got coming up? Let's just shout out what you guys got coming up next, Spider.
Still working on this cipher, man. Putting the final touches on it. This black box cipher. Waiting on the last few submissions to this for these MCs, so we can go ahead and film it.
Hey, what was that rapper? You sent me a song of a rapper. I listened to that song and I was like, man, this song is nice. This dude
Blue
can
Smurf.
flow.
Blue Smurf.
Is that Blue Smurf?
Yeah, part of War.
You sent me 2 songs, but the second one I was like, damn.
Yeah, that's unreleased. That's what we.
Oh, this one's unreleased.
Yeah,
huh?
that ain't nothing we could play on here.
Okay.
I don't believe. I think. That's
Oh, is it called Active Hook?
Yeah,
that Active Hook.
Yeah.
That's the one right there.
I got Blue Smurf and the Boy 1900 on it. Yeah,
Hey, we're gonna get everybody excited about that one. We ain't playing it, but Active
right.
Hook. Whenever you guys do something with that, that's the one right there.
Hook is not part of the title.
Oh, is it have an official title?
Yeah,
It's just active.
It's unreleased. So in my computer, so I know that's active with a hook. First we had active without a hook.
Oh, okay,
So
okay,
that's active with the hook. Yeah.
okay. And Munchie, what's going on?
Man, I'm about to start throwing some, like I've been saying, I've been procrastinating, you know what I'm saying, Mars Over Money 92, start throwing content on there. And, man, I ain't got too much going, but a vacation coming up, Jamaica next month, man, I'm just, regular, degular.
And I got a couple of videos that I'm working on my damn self. I'll let y'all know. I'm going to finally do a video responding to Mob James. He said my name in the video about a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, but I'm taking my time to do it delicately and accurately. And of course, I'm hoping by the end of 2024, I got a whole cut of the Damian Doster, aka TC story.
Free TC.
December, we're gonna go for the end of December. Hopefully, I'll have that. If not, I'll at least have a rough cut for those that are members of the YouTube channel. All our socials are in the notes below. I'll also put a link to the other to the indictment, the unsealed indictment of P.Diddy. And thanks for tapping in on another episode of Straight Politicking. We out.